Hi guys, welcome to the Best Analysis YouTube channel. We hope you're all okay. Let's jump into the subject, it's very interesting.
Hi guys, let's take a break time for a minute. To support us, don't forget to subscribe our channel and like the video. See you!
When a car runs out of fuel, we can go to the nearest fuel station and get the necessary fuel, or at worst, we get stuck on the road when we run out of the fuel. But did you know that there's a certain fuel level in their aircraft? Yes, airplanes fuel and moves before it travels. An airplane can run out of fuel in the air due to an incorrect measurement. Believe it or not, but there will be no good scenes when the fuel runs out. If you are wondering what will be happen if the plane runs out of fuel in the air, this content is definitely for you. Today, fuel-related measures are seen as high and very unlikely. However, when we look at the history of the aircraft, the so-called impossible things are happening and an airplane runs out of fuel while in the air. In our first incident, two hijackers hijacked the Boeing 767 plane. Nobody would be hurt if the Boeing 767 could be smuggled to Australia. However, as the planned flight was not to Australia and the plane didn't have enough fuel for the road change, the fuel was running out quickly. Although the pilots tried to explain it to the hijackers, they didn't listen and preferred to continue on their way. The plane ran out of the fuel and the plane was ready to land quick in the ocean. If the plane touched the water completely straight, there would be no problem. But the left wing of the plane first hit the water and almost all the passengers on the plane died.
By the way, don't forget to subscribe us.
Another incident takes place on July 23, 1983. Air Canada Airlines Boeing 767 type aircraft picked up 61 passengers from Montreal on the morning of July 23, 1983 and took off to Edmonton. The first leg of the flight 143, which was complete without any problems, was supplying passengers and fuel in Ottawa. As with every new aircraft, a few minor malfunctions occurred. The fault with the fuel pumps was about to be rectified by the technicians. The pilots wanted the fuel. In those days, Canada had just switched to metric unit system. Normally the fuel, which should be put according to the litre calculation, was put in pounds, but was passed in the documents in liters. In other words, the fuel tank was half filled instead of exactly. Fuel tanks had to be contoured manually due to pump failure, and this error was reflected in flight calculations. Takeoff took place in very good weather. After taking the cruise altitude of 41,000 feet, that is 12,400 meters, the problems started to come one after another. One of the two fuel pumps on the left wings was giving a warning. The malfunction meant that it could be not completely fixed. Captain Pilot Robert Pearson decided to make a forced landing at Winnipeg Airport to avoid putting passengers at risk. Air traffic control contacted ATC and reported its intention. The plane was slowly losing altitude before landing. The second pilot, Maurice Quintal, who controlled the flight instruments, said that the fuel pressure was low in the tank on the right wing, causing an icy air in the cockpit. So there was a problem in both warehouses. Very hot moments were waiting for the flight 143, one of the tanks which didn't fit and the other didn't have fuel. The fuel pumps that failed in the left tank could not feed the engine after 2 minutes, and the left engine stopped. This was followed by the failure of the right engine. The plane with an approximate weight of 120 tons began to float without any engine power. Since the engines also produce electricity, all electricity power systems were also disabled on the plane. None of the flight systems that operated entirely with the help of computers were operating. In the cockpit, the backup compass, which works manually only on the 767, the stage gyro showing the position of the plane, and the altimeter that provides speed and altitude information were in operation. The radio powered by a 24-volt battery provided connection with ATC. No navigation device was working to identify the location of the 767. The plane requested a situation report from ATC at 11,300 meters. According to map, the plane was 117 km from Winnipeg Airport and 81 km from Gimli, the Royal Canadian Air Force training square. In fact, no one could have imagined such an advanced plane gliding like a fuelless glider. Captain Pearson determined the descent speed at 500 meters per minute and the speed as 260 km per hour. ATC was able to follow the location of the plane only from the tracks left in the air because of the power was cut off. Captain Pearson realized that he couldn't reach Winnipeg Airport according to his calculation and decided to go to Gimli, where the altitude was more suitable. This was a small military square with 2 runways built during the Second World War. The one in the east was used by small planes and the west one was used as drag car racetrack. All surrounding air traffic was evacuated. All firefighters and rescue units in the region were dispatched to Gimli. It was 90 seconds before landing. The pilot activated the backup system to open the landing gear. The last remaining power in the system was able to open only the main landing gear of the aircraft. The nose landing gear was half opened. There was no indication that the landing gear was locking up. There were 35 seconds left to spin. Captain Pearson saw for a moment that they were too high on the runway. He couldn't pass and come again. He remembered a move he made during flight training. He could lose altitude with the belt movement, preventing his plane from staying high. But it was a question of what consequences such a move would have on large passenger aircraft. The plane could speed up unnecessarily and be out of control. Pearson took the risk and started the belt. While the nose of the plane pointed to right, the wings were tilted to left, losing altitude. When the movement was complete, the 767 had lost much altitude without gaining any speed. Flight 143 put well on the 270th meter of the runway. With contact the runway, the right main and front landing gear were folded. The plane was moving forward, sliding on the right bonnet and nose, but no off the runway. At the 1200th meter of the rack, 767 could stand 200 meters away from the car racers and spectators. No injuries from the passengers. Air Canada technical team prepared the plane in a few days and flew it from Gimli. The name of the 767 aircraft still flying in the Air Canada has since been changed to Gimli Glader.
The engines failed at about 30,000 feet and they had to glide. Fortunately, Captain Bob Pearson was an established glider pilot, and so he was now in the world's biggest glider. That's the runway that Captain Pearson first saw, and that's the one he committed to land on, because he only had one shot to get it right. And he did not know that it had been converted to a racetrack.
We looked up into the sky and saw this giant airliner making its way through the sky. And as it hit the ground, that was the only time I really heard a sound, and it was this deep thud, and you just felt the earth move.
Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and like the video. See you in the next video. Take care.